Hey everyone, and welcome back. So I know it's been a bit since I've done an actual review. Haven't done one since the end of January, which I guess apologies there. This year's been kind of rough with some me being sad and other problems I won't get into here. But I'm finally back. I have the energy now to actually put content out, and I figured for my grand return on this beautiful Friday, let's take a look at a game that I hold very dear to my heart. It's time to look at Mortal Kombat. What the hell was that? We don't have guests here. Looks like someone sent me a package or something. I guess that's thoughtful. Let's read it. To Marvel. We have unfinished business. Play this or die. From JV. Well, that's not ominous. Let's open it up. This ain't gonna be pretty.
Friday the 13th, the franchise that I continue to make content for. I don't know why at this point. Who doesn't love Jason Voorhees? I know I do, because I've already made 2 videos about this poor fella. Last time I gave the J-Man some attention, I looked at his multiplayer game, but there was always a part of me that wanted to take a look at the NES game at some point. This game itself is infamous for being notoriously difficult and a confusing mess to trek through. More than enough people have talked about it on this platform, including the AVGN himself, which is where I learned of this game. Despite the game not being good, it has maintained a legacy of its own, resulting in a NECA figure being made of him and being added as a skin in the 2017 game.
So with all that, let's get into some backstory on the game itself.
With how popular Friday the 13th and Nintendo were back in the 80s, it was a sure thing we were going to get a game at some point. The game was published by LJN and developed by Atlus, which shocked me given the titles that they would later put out in their lifespan, including Shin Megami Tensei and Persona. The game released back in February of 1989 in North America and was torn apart by critics at the time as well. They didn't really gel with the frustrating gameplay and the music, which is something we will definitely cover later. With all that, it's time for little old me to pop this into my Nintendo and finally cross this off my bucket list.
I thought the first NES game I would cover would be Batman 89, but, well, I guess we can save that for another day. But hey, remember when I beat it on stream?
Come on. Yes! Yes!
You beat him!
Oh, Holly.
Alright, enough messing around. Let's talk about the story. If there is one.
Jason is attacking the children of Camp Crystal Lake, so it's up to you and 5 other camp counselors to put an end to this madness. Wait, that's it? Hold on. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, this game doesn't really have much of what you call a narrative aside from what you're doing in the game itself. The only screen beforehand is just some bullshit about lighting fireplaces up, which isn't exactly clear as to why you should. Just for shits and giggles, I looked up the game's manual to see if it offered anything, which it does have an introduction, so let me just read that to make things more dramatic. It's a pretty typical summer at Camp Crystal Lake. There's a group of happy children staying in the camp. You and your 6 camp counselor friends are watching over the kids while enjoying the lake and the wilderness. The days are bright and sunny. The nights are cool and clear. and Jason is on a rampage. It's up to you to stop him, but it's not going to be easy. You must first fight your way through the forest filled with man-eating wolves, caves covered with blood-sucking bats, and hordes of mindless zombies everywhere you turn. You must also help any friend who is in danger, or else you can just kiss them goodbye. And hiding in a cabin or staying adrift in a canoe won't keep you safe. Jason will find you anywhere. The only way to survive this summer is to challenge Jason face to face and destroy him.
Well, that didn't do shit.
I know some of you are going to say that the NES can't do stories in their games, and to that I call bullshit. Look at games like Ninja Gaiden, and hell, even Batman knew how to present a cohesive plot. I know that they could have done a little more than this, but what we have is just pitiful, even for Friday standards. I guess Atlas really didn't give a shit. But also, as I say that, this is the same devs that did the Karate Kid game.
So with that, let's go over gameplay. I guess. I don't know, dude. I'm just making it up as I go along.
After picking your character, you're set right in the action as you can jump with the A button and use weapons with B. Left and right on the D-pad is to move, of course, and you can duck as well. Up is for accessing the different paths and entering cabins when you come across them. Inside the cabins, it turns into a 3D game, kinda, and this is where you get the option to change, pass, cure, and take. Change allowing you to swap with other characters, pass which swaps items and weapons, cure which I never use, and take which picks up certain items you might find like notes and such. All these options are accessible by pressing select and hitting A to confirm. Now to talk about weapons and items you'll be collecting, starting with your default form of attack. The Rock. This absolutely sucks with it being incredibly weak and having piss poor range. You don't need me to tell you the main rule of the game, so if you need a refresher, I'll just let him explain.
Number 1, get the knife. Number 2, get the knife. Number 3, get the knife.
Okay, it's not from his Friday the 13th video, but damn it, the rules still apply.
As for other weapons, we have a torch, machete, which of course we should, an axe, and the pitchfork. Besides the knife, the only other weapon I managed to get was the machete, I think, and I don't know how I managed to do that. They either drop from enemies or just appear out of thin air, cause why the hell not? Other items you can find include lighters for the fireplaces, vitamins which can heal you and other characters and can be used if you lose all your health, a flashlight which I didn't see at all, a key for unlocking certain doors, messages which give you hints that don't help, and a sweater in case it gets cold, I guess? Last thing to note is that each counselor has different attributes that sets them apart, from different running speeds, jump heights, attack power, etc. Whatever you do, do not pick George, that piece of shit. He is the worst for most of these classes, so you might as well just let Jason kill him right away. Debbie and Paul are not great either. Mark and Laura are pretty good, but the real MVP is Chrissy. She has all the best stats besides rowing and is just the GOAT overall.
Did I really just say that? Anyway, the other stuff.
Besides killing Jason, one thing that is really important is keeping the other counselors safe. Very often the Jason alarm will start blaring, and when you hear it, you need to book your ass to the flashing house on the map and pray that you make it in time. If you do, they will thank you for your efforts, but if you don't, you just lost a playable character to use. The Jason alarm is one of the worst things about this game. Most of the time the cabin you need to go to is on the other side of the map, and navigating your way there can be a humongous pain in the ass. I managed to lose a few counselors over the multiple playthroughs I attempted. After saving them and exploring, you'll have the chance to fight Jason head-on in a gameplay style that looks very familiar to another game on the NES.
If you thought of Ring King, you would be correct. Minus the weird blowjobs between rounds.
In these punch-out style battles, all you can do is really move around, attack, and dodge, which requires you to hold down and use left and right on the D-pad. In most cases you'll probably lose instantly, but you're able to repel him long enough for him to run away like a little bitch. With the right weapons you can kill Jason, so it is possible to beat this game, and I saw somebody on YouTube do it in 3 minutes. I don't know how, but somebody did it. Besides fighting the J-Man, you can also light fireplaces, which scares him. Lighting the right fireplace gets you the torch, but I have no idea how this game works anyway, so who cares. Enemies are abundant in this game and range from zombies to birds, wolves, bats, and you can even fight Pamela's floating head. For some reason. Graphics are a mixed bag for me. Environments look decent enough with the colors sometimes popping really nicely, but on the other hand, everybody looks like mannequins with blank faces, but at least Purple Jason looks rad. The music is extremely repetitive that loops every 2 seconds, but I kinda like it. There's an eeriness that I just jive with, but listening to it in game can be annoying after a while. It's the kind of soundtrack I find better listening on YouTube instead of hearing in the actual game.
You know, I think that pretty much covers it. So let's move on to my final thoughts.
Friday the 13th on the NES is a frustrating, difficult, confusing nightmare of a game, and I don't know what else to say, and I sure as hell don't need to tell you not to play it. I'm just baffled at what I actually accomplished throughout this whole process. I did 4 playthroughs back to back, and I was just as confused ending it as much as I was at the beginning. The gameplay is repetitive. I don't know where the hell I'm going or what I'm doing for the record besides saving kids or getting killed. If it's not some bullshit like having Jason karate chop me, I'm dealing with an infinite supply of zombies or fucking crows pecking at me, or let's throw bats in because why not? And with all that happening, I'm getting a migraine from the music looping every 2 seconds, and if that's not enough, I got the Jason alarm blaring in my ear. I'm at my wit's end, and it's only 15 minutes per playthrough because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. With all that said, despite all my negatives, I want to play it again. There's a charm this game has that makes you want to take another crack at it and maybe try and go a little further the next time. I feel like I'm not alone on this, and that's the reason the game has such a cult following and has garnered a legacy of its own. Unless you're a diehard fan, you don't need to be anywhere near this game even if there is a 10-foot pole between you. Guess I couldn't defeat Jason after all.
Okay, I'm awake. So yeah, guys, that pretty much covers it for Friday the 13th related video games. There's technically one more, but I don't know if I'm actually gonna do a full-on review of it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think, but as of right now, I'm not really in a hurry to cover it. But yeah, I guess the only thing really left to cover for Friday the 13th on the channel is the movies, and well, I'll figure it out in due time. But until the next video, whatever that may be, I have no idea. I have some ideas. Anyway, have a great night. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care of yourselves. Whew. Alright, I'm going to bed. I'm done. What a day. Well, that was weird. I don't know who sent me that game, but hey, at least I got another review out of it. And so now I'm going to rest and forget that this day happened. See you on the flip side. Nice and warm in my bed.